Sam Humphreys. Now Meade has the report from George Sharp. His earlier report he'd got from George Sharp that Sharp has identified all of Lee's units on the field from Confederate prisoners who have been taken and have been interrogated by Captain Babcock, except for the four brigades. Actually, it's 3 brigades, but the report is that Sharp has the 4 brigades constituting Pickett's division. And he's also going to have tell Meade we have about 54,000 men available for the fighting on another day. Sharp will tell him. And before Sharp is dismissed, he gets some information that informs him that Pickett has arrived on the field. So that means that now Meade knows that Lee will have no other reinforcements. So when they have the big meeting here, it's going to convene around 9:30, he will know, and he had sent earlier a telegram to Washington. And the telegram to Washington will read that it's been a terrible battle on the afternoon of the 2nd. The battle has ebbed and flowed. But with the end of the day, he believes the Union has been generally successful. And he plans to stay here. Now he calls a staff. So the people we've mentioned, Warren, will be the smartest of them all, because he's going to sit in a corner in a big room and go to sleep. In the big room, there's a table and a chair, the 16 by 16. So now who is here? There is General Meade. There's General Buttersworth, Chief of Staff. Warren, who will be dozing all through the meeting. And there will be General Newton, an engineer, and a protege of General Meade. Meade being an engineer. He commands the 1st Corps, and he will hate, General Doubleday of the 1st Corps will hate Newton and Meade the rest of his life. Then there will be General Gibbon, commander of the 2nd Corps, because Hancock is there as commander of the left wing. Representing the 3rd Corps will be General Birney, who does not like General Meade. Representing the 5th Corps will be Party George Sykes, who fortunately for the Federals on the 2nd in the afternoon doesn't live up to his nom de guerre that he got at West Point of Tardy George. 6th Corps commanded, represented by Sedgwick, who's only been lightly engaged on the 2nd. Howard will be there. Howard will be a rather fairly unimportant, and he'll be the last person to arrive. And then General Slocum, who Meade has not gotten tough with Slocum. On the evening of the 1st, Meade appointed Slocum commander of the Army's right wing. But Meade is being kind and not decisive. He should have relieved Slocum and told Slocum, "You're commander of the 12th Corps," and let General Alpheus Williams, who is representing the 12th Corps, go back to being a division commander. They're going to smoke a lot of cigars. Yeah, the smoking people would have a fit as they smoke cigars and the talk rattles. Then Butterfield takes charge when Meade should have said, I'm running the show. General Butterfield, we're not converting this into from an information collecting group to a council of war. So Butterfield takes charge and is going to write 3 questions, which the men are going to debate and vote on. Now this, remember, what has Meade already told us? That he's going to stay here. And he should have said, when Butterfield writes that down, the first question is, are we going to stay here? Or are we going to fall back? And he says, Meade should have interrupted and said, shut up, Butterfield. I was going to say, why wasn't that son of a bitch wounded on the morning of the 3rd? That son of a bitch wouldn't be with him. And it is, are we going to stay here, or are we going to pull back? After long discussion with an engineer, Newton taking the lead, arguing we should fall back, and undoubtedly to the Pike Creek line. And they vote, and the majority votes we stay here. Then they will vote and discuss. It's not going to end until midnight. They're going to discuss, since we're staying here, and since we stay here, since we're staying here, do we attack or let them attack? After long discussion, it is, we will let them attack us. Then the third question is rather easily dealt with, and that is, if they don't attack us, what do we do? We come back and talk again. So Meade has, in the minds of the Democratic Republican Party, the President of the United States has now showed himself in command, because he's let the people vote and decide. Grant and Jackson both will advise, after having won Council of War, don't call a Council of War. And the greatest soldier of the 19th century, in the late 18th century, Bonaparte also has an admonition, don't call a Council of War. Now the meeting is getting near as it now ends, and General Gibbon, who commands the Second Corps, Meade calls him aside as they step out on the porch. Meade will tell Gibbon, Lee attacked my right, and he attacked my left, and you're holding my center, and he'll probably attack you in the morning. Meade also makes one other decision, that he is going to attack and try and dislodge those rebels that have seized the toehold on Culp's Hill. So it's adjourned. In the battle, part of the battle, which they're going to burn more ammunition than they do on Little Round Top, will take place beginning about 5 in the morning, when the Union and the Confederates battle for Culp's Hill. By 11:30, the only Confederates left on Culp's Hill are dead, wounded, and prisoners. Now, General Gibbon has a good cook. Gibbon's headquarters are right here, right adjacent to me, as you can see. So Gibbon will invite General Meade General Pleasanton and their staffs to partake of chicken and dumplings prepared by my cook. So they're going to sit around here. The officers, the senior officers are going to eat. And about 10 minutes after 1, this will be a place you don't want to be around. As the Confederate bombardment is going to open, and of course you can see the copse of trees to the left. You can see that single tree that stands at the angle. And this becomes the most dangerous place to be. 16 horses will be dead out there, and a number wounded. That gentleman sitting there, the staff officer, and you're a poor orderly, serving him some more chicken and dumplings, and you're going to be cut in two. That slug over there isn't going to be hurt. So two things are going to come from this. Towards that, when we go to Powers Hill. Meade decides this against advice. He's going to move his headquarters from here, which is in the field of fire of the Confederate artillery, and he's going to move his headquarters down to Powers Hill, believing that there'll be a single corps man here who will communicate with Slocum's single corps people down at Powers Hill. But for some reason, the single corps man here is supposed to signal to the person on Powers Hill to either forget his mission, become scared, and will not do it. That means that Meade will not receive any information on what is happening here. It's way late. And then Meade will then ride up, and we will end up, after we've been to Powers Hill, we'll end up just about where we can see Meade sitting on Old Baldy. He rides there at a high moment in his career. He arrives there after the Confederates have been repulsed. And the Confederates are falling back as fast as they can to Seminary Ridge. He sees hundreds, actually more than several thousand Confederates being marched to the rear as prisoners. He sees Alexander Hayes riding up and down in front of the lines, dragging Confederate flags, colors in the dirt behind his horse. So Meade will get some advice up there. Some will be arguing that he should counterattack. But he thinks on it. His two fightingest generals in the center of his line are both badly wounded. So if he counterattacks, he will not have Hancock the Superb, nor will he have General Hughes. After mulling it over, he'll make a decision which will cost him in the mind of the President of the United States not to counterattack. Where's